Friends, in today's story, we will see that due to the spread of an unknown virus, every human on Earth has been killed. However, one man is somehow still alive, wandering around for the last 2 years, searching for another living soul. But then, one day, he meets a woman who tells him that only the two of them are left alive on Earth. And now, they must come together to start a family and save humanity. So the story begins, and we are told that due to an unknown virus, all humans on Earth were killed. But one man is still alive, named Philip. Now, poor Philip has been wandering alone for many years just to find a living person. But he finds no one, which upsets him greatly. He returns to his hometown, and on the way, he sees a signboard and writes on it that one human is still alive. Moving on, he reaches his house and thinks, why should I live in this crappy house when there are mansions of the ultra-rich in my town? After that, he moves into the house of the richest man in town. He hangs up paintings stolen from major museums, each worth billions of dollars. But when Philip still wasn't satisfied, he brought home an Egyptian mummy's sarcophagus and a dinosaur head, which he uses to decorate his dining table. Then every night before bed, he repeatedly asks God for forgiveness for his strange hobbies, something he had been doing for the last 2 years. The next morning he goes to the restroom, but there was no water. So, to clean up, he brings a ton of bottled water. After that, he feels hungry, so he goes to a supermarket. Instead of opening the door, he forces it open with a tool. Inside, he grabs a lot of food for himself. But then, his eyes fall on the lifestyle magazines kept there, which he stuffs into his cart and leaves. At night, he opens a $400 bottle of wine and thanks God. After that, he spends some time alone twice and quietly goes to sleep. The next day, to pass the time, Philip destroys expensive items around the house. When he still isn't satisfied, he crashes an expensive Mustang into a cheap car to cause an explosion. Because after all, how long could the poor guy pass time just by being by himself? As days go by, we see that Philip's house has become a junkyard. And anyway, why would he clean it? It wasn't his house. Later, he fills a rubber pool with booze and bathes in it while drinking it at the same time. Suddenly, he gets a strong urge to use the restroom. So, he decides to make a new setup for himself, but his plumbing was broken. He cuts a hole in the middle of a swimming pool diving board and sits there to do his business. After that, he goes to a bar and asks the mannequins there, would you guys like to have a drink? But when the toys don't answer, he drinks a whole bottle of liquor himself and passes out. A while later, when he regains consciousness, he takes one of the toys in his car and goes to a female mannequin to talk to her. He says, I've been noticing you for many days, but I didn't have the courage to tell you my heart's feelings. Saying this, he starts kissing it. But then, the mannequin's arm breaks off. Seeing this, Philip gets sad, and the next day, he goes to a hill and writes, R.I.P. Philip. After that, he sits in his car and speeds toward the cliff to crash and end his life. But before he could take his life, he sees something strange. He quickly stops his car and sees smoke coming from behind the mountain, which meant a human was still alive. He rushes toward the smoke. Reaching the spot, he sees a camp set up, and a woman's clothing was hanging there. He gets happy and faints right there. When he wakes up, he finds himself lying in the lap of a beautiful girl who says, I can't believe you found me, and starts kissing him. But then, his eyes open again, and he sees a woman giving him CPR, and she was not beautiful at all. Scared, he moves away from her. He asks, where did that beautiful girl go? The woman, whose name is Carol, says, you fainted and even had an accident in your clothes, so I was giving you CPR. Philip says, I didn't. It was already wet. Saying this, he moves toward her, and a panicked Carol pulls out her gun. She tells him to put her things down and asks if he is a good person. He says, yes, I am good. You can trust me. She asks, did you write about yourself on that signboard? Philip says, yes, I wrote that. I was fed up with being alone and was about to give up on everything when I saw you. Hearing this, Carol feels sorry for him and befriends him. Later, they sit together to have coffee, where we see Philip is not happy at all because he always wanted a beautiful girl for himself. But what did he get? This unwanted surprise. After that, he takes Carol to show her his house. But on the way, Carol tells him to stop at a stop sign. They both look left and right to check if anyone is crossing the street. At the house, Philip shows Carol his custom restroom, then the trash pool, and then the booze pool. Inside, Carol sees piles of magazines and asks, "What is all this?" Philip says, "These are lifestyle magazines for my lonely hours." Hearing this, Carol starts laughing and says, "I don't want to judge you, but you seem like a total weirdo." Philip feels terrible and leaves her right where he found her. The next morning, he wakes up to find Carol has returned and is cleaning the trash in his house. Philip says, "Next time you come to clean my trash, let me know first." Carol gets angry and spreads the trash back out. Philip tries to stop her, and she says they need a cleaner to clean this, so they go to a supermarket. Philip parks his car in an accessible parking spot. Carol tells him, "This spot is for people with disabilities. Park somewhere else." Philip gets angry and says, "Are you crazy? There's no one else in the world but us. Where is a disabled person going to come from?" Carol insists he park elsewhere. Philip loses it and drives his car straight through the supermarket entrance. That night, he goes to the bar to talk to his mannequin friends and tells them, "I'm not the last man on earth anymore. I thought I'd find a beautiful girl to have fun with every day. But what did I get? This bitter melon Carol." The next morning, while he was rinsing his mouth with beer, he sees Carol packing her bags and moving in next door. He runs to her and says, "The world is huge, and the only place you found to live was the house right next to mine?" Carol says, "What's your problem? Are you afraid I'll see you doing things?" Philip gets frustrated and acts out in front of her. Carol says, "Look, we've been chosen for a purpose, and that purpose is to save humanity." Philip says, "Look, I'm not trying to insult you, but I'm not interested in a romantic evening with you, even if you were the last woman on earth." He leaves and sits on his diving board to rest. Carol comes by and asks, "Can't you do that inside?" He says no, because there's no water. Carol says, "We have to live like humans so we can give our future children a better life." He says, "You crazy girl, don't you understand I don't want to start a family with you?" She says, "Fine, fine, but I want fresh fruits and vegetables. Don't you want those?" Philip says he doesn't care. Then Carol pulls a tomato out of her pocket and taunts him while eating it. Seeing her eat a tomato, Philip tries to eat a 2-year-old canned tomato, but he doesn't enjoy it. So at night, he sneaks into Carol's garden and eats all her tomatoes. The next morning, Carol asks, "Did you enjoy the tomatoes?" He lies and says he doesn't know what she's talking about. Carol calls him a maniac and starts limping away. Philip asks what happened to her leg. She says she got hurt while trying to get water from the ground. Seeing her state, Philip feels sorry for her and helps her set up water. He connects a valve and pipes to bring water to Carol's house. She is very happy and invites him to dinner. During dinner, Carol tells Philip, "Looking at your skills, I'm convinced God brought us together to save the world." Philip says, "Fine, if you're insisting. Let's just do it tonight." Carol says, "No, I won't have a wedding night with you until you marry me." He starts laughing and says, "You're good at jokes." She says, "I'm not joking. Do you want our future to start without a proper commitment?" Philip really wants to move forward, so he agrees to marry her. Carol makes him get on one knee to propose properly. He does. She says yes, but Philip isn't happy and leaves dinner halfway. Carol follows him with food and says, "The President of the United States is dead, so one of us has to become president and take charge of the country." Philip, annoyed, says, "You be the president." She says she can't because she doesn't know how to give speeches. By mutual agreement, Philip is made president. The next day, Carol goes to buy wedding supplies while Philip enjoys his bachelor party, where he sets a pile of tissue papers on fire. He then arrives at the church wearing tattered clothes. Carol had decorated the church beautifully and was dressed up herself. When it's time for the rings, Philip realizes he forgot them. He simply wasn't interested in the marriage. Carol gets angry and leaves the wedding halfway. Philip follows her to her house and asks her to open the door. When she doesn't, he breaks the door down. Inside, he sees Carol had decorated her house beautifully because she was so excited. He finds Carol sitting in a room with a sad face. He apologizes and says he truly forgot the rings. Carol forgives him, and they go to a jewelry shop, take many rings, and Philip puts them on her fingers one by one. They are married. On their wedding night, instead of starting their family, Carol just talks to him all night. From the next day, Carol starts doing everything Philip enjoys. He even introduces her to his ex-friend, the mannequin. But Carol gets jealous and throws it out. Later, while driving home, their car crashes into a limousine at an intersection. Philip checks to see if anyone is inside. And out comes a beautiful girl named Melissa. Philip is stunned. Carol is also happy to see her. The three of them head to Philip's house. On the way, Philip can't stop staring at Melissa, laughing at her every joke to hit on her. Melissa explains she saw the signboard and had been wandering around for 2 weeks like a dog, but found no one. Philip thinks, "What a huge mistake I made. She was here before Carol. If I had found her first, I would have married her." Then Carol tells Melissa they got married a week ago. Melissa is shocked and says, "Wow, you guys moved fast." Philip hates the mention of the marriage and rolls up the middle window of the car. At the house, Melissa is amazed by the expensive paintings, but says she's tired and needs rest. Philip suggests she rest at his house so they can talk and have fun. But Carol says, "If I were you, I wouldn't stay here," because Philip uses the pool as a restroom. Melissa decides to find another house. Before leaving, Carol invites her to dinner. As they say goodbye, Carol hugs her, and Philip, never missing a chance, squeezes in between them to get close to Melissa. In the evening, Philip shaves his beard. Carol is shocked because he had refused to shave when she asked. He's doing everything to get with Melissa. At dinner, Philip keeps staring at Melissa and cursing himself for marrying too early. He starts agreeing with everything. Melissa says her favorite movie, favorite food, favorite car, all become his favorites too, just to show a connection. After dinner, Carol invites Philip to have some fun, but Philip lies and says he has a stomachache because he's not interested. Carol asks if he's attracted to Melissa, but he denies it and goes to sleep. In the middle of the night, Melissa comes to visit and Philip follows her like a dog, only to see Carol sitting in the bathroom. He gets terrified. The next morning, Melissa visits and finds Philip exercising to show off his body. He tells her he has a gift for her because he broke her limousine. Carol comes out and asks why he's gifting a car. He explains it's for the limo. Carol snaps, "You have time for this, but I've asked you 100 times to fix my door." Carol then shows Melissa a drawing of their wedding. Melissa asks why they don't live together if they're married. Carol says, "I can't live with him. He's gross. I only married him to save the race." While Philip is fixing the door, Melissa tells him she has a generator to cool some beer and invites him and Carol over. Philip goes alone, telling Melissa that Carol is sick, even though he never told Carol about the invitation. During their talk, Melissa says she's been looking for a man for 2 years because she misses having fun. Philip says he understands. It's natural. Melissa says she's happy for them as a couple, despite their bickering, and she respects their bond. Philip is dying to tell her he's miserable with Carol and wanted someone like her. But instead, he got stuck. Melissa laments, "Look at my luck. I find the last man on earth and he's married." Philip says, "Don't worry. That man won't be married for long." He goes to Carol to break up, but he can't do it when he sees her making a heart for their door out of their wedding photo. He feels bad for her and doesn't want to hurt her feelings, so he quietly goes home. Meanwhile, we see an Audi car approaching, meaning another human is still alive. That person sees Philip's alive board and heads toward the town. Who is this person? How many others are left? And will Philip ever get his special evening with Melissa? We will see all of this in the next part of video. Thank you.